Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hello. I hope everyone had a good week. I hope.
Why are you looking at me like that? It was better than last week. I'm
Yeah,
afraid of jinxing it. I won't say anymore.
fair. Well, today we are going to be actually doing half a chapter. For sure, we're not actually going the full way this time.
I need to shower.
Yeah. We're gonna make it a short stream. We're gonna read half of Prey 14.3, and then we will finish the rest at some other time.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Prey 14.3. They're not answering, Tattletale reported as she lowered the phone from her ear. They're already engaged. You fucking idiot, I swear. Trickster stabbed one finger in her direction. If Ballistic dies because you fucking gave it away. I could see Tattletale's eyes narrow. My power told me there was a damn good chance she'd just run for it. 80, 90%. Well, your power was wrong, wasn't it?
Woo!
Trickster retorted. Tattletale ignored him, looking at me. Anything? Can you find him? I shook my head. No. I think he might be in a vehicle, so he can keep up with Siberian. I realized it late. I haven't been looking for one this whole time, but I'm sweeping the area now. Shouldn't we go? Sundancer asked. We can go help Ballistic and your team. Would love to, Bruce said. But Bitch warned us about using her dogs past the 15-minute mark. It's wearing off. They're getting smaller and weaker, and if it gets to the point that they're not comfortable carrying the load, they may lash out.
Uh-oh.
How many minutes has it been? Trickster asked,
Too many.
glancing at Bentley. Long enough I wouldn't risk it, Bruce said. I looked at Sirius. I hadn't noticed while we'd been riding him, but he was smaller. His exterior tissues were fitting looser, in the same way skin tended to hang loose on someone who had been morbidly obese and recently lost weight. And just to his left, I could see Amy backing away, holding her hand.
Hey, bitch, you owe us a favor now. Help.
Amy, I spoke. She startled, as if I'd slapped her. Everyone's eyes turned to her. You okay? I asked. No, I'm not okay. Her head trembled a little as she turned to glance at the others. She returned her attention to me. She bit off my fingers. I'm sorry.
Get over it, sweetheart. Worse injuries have been had in this group.
I'm sorry, I said. I raised my hands to show her I wasn't armed. We tried to get to you as fast as we could. My fingers, she moaned as she looked at her hand. I ran as fast as I could, but it wasn't fast enough. She kept catching me.
It's Siberian, sweetie. Get over it.
I know. There was nothing you could have done, I said. It's not right. Amy shook her head.
How long have you been a parahuman, sweetheart? It's not right. Nothing's right. It's Rockton fucking Bay, man. Nothing is right here. If anything was right, you wouldn't be reading Worm, now would you?
I don't think Amy's reading Worm. Doesn't seem like her kind of fiction.
Listen, she should just be like me and be like, life sucks and then you die. Everything sucks, you know, whatever.
She was still backing away. This isn't the way things should be. Superpowers and Endbringers and things like Siberian, it's still fucked up.
Hey, somebody, any of you, one of you, any of you, I need you to take a few steps forward. Reach out to Amy. Reach out to her like you're gonna give her a hug and slap her across her fucking face. Look, sometimes you need sense slapped into you. This is one of those times. Someone needs to slap her. Sometimes you need someone to slap you. My roommate in dental school, not physically, metaphorically, giving that slap of reality I need. And they'd be like, yeah, you're right, I'm okay. Sometimes you just need that. Taylor, you gotta backhand her. The world depends on it. Do it.
There should be a way to fight back, but there isn't so much of the time. There is, I said. It's hard to find, but there's always a way.
Mm-hmm.
Tattletale.
You go, girl.
Tattletale turned her head. Hey, Amy, listen. Can I ask you a question? Don't, Amy snapped, shifting gears from self-pity to fury in a heartbeat. Don't talk to me. Don't even look at me, you bitch.
Slap her. Slap her extra hard.
This is important.
How dare you talk to Lisa like that?
This is important. What part of what I just said did you not understand?
Fuck you, man.
You think we didn't just save your life, Trickster said, folding his arms. You did it to delay Siberian. Or so she said, Amy replied, glancing at Tattletale.
Oh my god, get the fuck over yourself.
It was one of the reasons, Tattletale started. Skitter, shut up! The words were a screech as they came out of Amy's mouth. Tattletale turned 180 degrees till her back was to Amy and looked in the direction of Rue and I. I'm done. No point. Fuck it. I'm going to try calling the others again while you handle this.
Fair.
There were a few long seconds of tension as we all stood there, Tattletale a short distance away, phone to her ear. I decided to break the silence. How are your fingers? You're using...
Oh my god, Taylor, you have no doubt. How are your fingers? They're gone, bitch. They're gone.
How are your fingers? You're using your power to keep the bleeding down? Amy glanced at her hand, and a dark look crossed her face. Yeah.
Oh no, she thinks you did it.
I've got bandages, if you want them. Only the most basic first aid supplies, but maybe they'll help? Okay. I got the small kit from my utility compartment and approached her. She kept still while I got out the disinfectant, bandages, and tape, and covered the fingers Siberian had shortened by one segment.
It's okay. It's okay, girl. Listen, I know it's bad. Trust me. I know it's bad, but at least you only lost your distal phalanges. You got the proximal and the mesial. Medial. You won't die. You okay. Also, I don't know if Dragon's still on your side, but maybe she can put together some distal phalanges for you.
Robotic fingertips?
Please let me just keep calling them distal phalanges. Their proper name.
All right.
I've forgotten so much of anatomy, but I remember this. Please let me have this.
Okay. Distal phalanges.
Are they medial? Is it? Let's see. It was proximal, and then distal. I don't remember if it's medial. It's mesial and distal for like teeth, like anatomy terms, like what's closer to the center of the body and what's further away.
And the fingertips are as far away from the body as you can get.
Perhaps they take up a very large amount of space as far as the human homunculus goes. I mean, we've talked about this before on the show, right? I mean, yeah, I'm sure this like hurts like hell. But I don't know. How bad does it hurt if you're actually missing, those parts of your fingers? Because typical torture is, you crush those, you leave them intact, so that even while you're healing, you're in a lot of pain. But if they're just kind of removed, I mean, tooth pain. I know tooth pain, right? You pop out the tooth, the pain's gone. So I wonder if it's like that.
I hope so.
Any amputees you want to sound off in the comments? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked that. I'm sorry.
I don't know if a lot of them have medical training.
No, I said amputees. Any amputees?
Oh, amputees.
Any amputees want to sound off in the comments? No? Okay, don't. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person.
That's okay. That's why we're here.
I don't like the look on your face. I don't like it.
How can you even be teammates with her? Amy asked me.
With who?
Are you friends?
With Tattletale?
Yep.
Amy, what the fuck is your problem? Tattletale is the best. She's my favorite character. Look, I like you too, but you do not slander Lisa. I will backhand you into... I don't know. I'll backhand you into next week. Don't you dare.
We are. Everything that's happened to me, it's like it all snowballed out from the moment you assholes robbed the bank.
Oh my god, teenagers! I do not miss being a teenager. I know I'm like getting old and decrepit. I know I'm like not hot anymore, and I don't heal very well anymore. And I know it's hard for me to like sleep and my bones creak and I got white hairs, but dear lord, do I not miss being a fucking teenager. Can you believe? Way back in the day, when human life expectancy was so much shorter,
Mhm.
that our royalty in all countries were fucking teenagers.
Yeah.
No wonder everything went to shit. We are a terrible species. We're terrible. We're not that much better now, even though our like world leaders are like grown-ass men and women. I mean, we're really not doing that good. We're a terrible species, and we really, you know what? If we're wiped off the face of the earth by our own actions, we fucking deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, allow me for a moment to be an old woman and be like, when I was your age! But for fucking serious. She's half my age. And I'm just like, girl. Chill out. What you yelling for?
Oh, me too. I'd met and ultimately joined the Undersiders because of Tattletale, and everything had followed from that.
But I like her! Why do I like her?
She's a fun character. It's as simple as that.
Okay, cool. I'm like, I like Tattletale. I don't even remember why I like her, but she's like, I like her. Yeah, you're right. She's fun.
She didn't plan that. It might have started that way, but she wasn't the cause of everything that followed, I said.
Wow, Taylor, being mature.
I wondered if I was trying to convince myself.
Oh no! I still ship it though. It's such a good ship. It's so troubled. The angst, the hormones. Smells like teen spirit. Blech.
Amy glared down at the ground. A quick glance showed that Gru, Trickster, and Sundancer were all trying to avoid engaging in this conversation.
Well, yeah. I don't blame them. I don't want to be here. I don't have to be here. But I'm here for you, Tay-Tay, because you're the car and we can't get off this crazy roller coaster. Come on.
She spoke at a low enough volume that I doubted the words were reaching the others. I've had nightmares about her.
About Tattletale?
Yep.
Amy?
Not
Are you okay, girl? You're not okay.
Not saying I take back how I shouted at her, but she brought up shit. And the fact that Victoria heard it, I couldn't shake it.
Oh my god, you need to like chill. Oh my god, they all need therapy. They all need therapy.
It affected the way I thought, the way I acted. Victoria knew...
Ooh, I know this one. She has CPTSD. Did I get points? Why are you high-fiving me?
I guess you get points. I think there's definitely a case for CPTSD.
I have CPTSD. Takes one to know one.
Victoria knew something was up. She respected my privacy, but she had suspicions. If Tattletale hadn't said anything, I could have dealt with Bonesaw coming to my house and fucking with me, getting me to break my code. Or Bonesaw might not have come at all. I don't know.
Look, I don't know what to say. I just feel like it's the Slaughterhouse 9. They might know. They might have known. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Slaughterhouse 9 somehow managed to get the info, like, even before, like, Tattletale or anybody else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't know. They just strike me as, well, Jack anyway strikes me as the type to like know things and do things. And I don't know, I don't know about this one because, well, it would have been just as big, maybe an even bigger shock if Jack Slash had shown up and been like, hey, I know who your daddy is, you know, like, It wouldn't have, I don't know if that would have really made a huge difference. So I think she's just lashing out. She's like looking for someone to be angry at. I know she's like, just kids spiraling. I know. Hey, when was Ward planned?
When was it planned?
Yeah.
I have no clue. I know a lot less about the planning process for Worm for Ward than I did for Worm.
I'm just kind of wondering, like, I wonder if Wildbow already had like the little whispers of the Ward thing happening.
I'm pretty sure.
Here? Yeah. Like, we're how much through this? Is it a third? Is it a half? Tell me it's half.
We're about a third of the way through.
Oh my god. I didn't mean that. I did. I'm sorry. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Bo had planned Ward at this stage, because I mean, about a third of the way through is when, like, or in my case, even a fourth of the way through is when your ideas start to kind of like branch out, like the leaves on a tree, like you kind of just start getting ideas, going off of ideas and stuff. So to me, it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect that maybe Ward had happened about now, and maybe Bobo was setting up the little breadcrumbs for it.
I'm just gonna say, you really don't know what Ward's about. You kind of know, the main protagonist.
I know the main protagonist, I know some of the issues, and I know that Victoria is the one on your phone and not your beautiful actual wife.
I need to just change my phone screen so you can stop bringing that
It's
up.
funny. Let me keep bringing it up. Look, I like to shade you, okay? It's funny. I think it's funny. I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Okay.
I have a different anime dude on my phone every few months. Granted, they all kind of look a little bit like you or remind me of you, but that's besides.
All right.
Do you think I'd look good as a blonde? I'm joking.
It depends on the shade, I guess.
I'd look okay, wouldn't I?
You look okay. I like your hair as it is.
I think if I go blonde, I might need a tattoo or some more piercings to go with it. Fit the dude. Asians are not naturally blonde. We do it because we're angry. Anyway,
I don't know. Victoria would have listened to me, maybe, given me the benefit of the doubt.
are you sure about that?
We didn't expect you to be at the bank. We were cornered. Tattletale used the power she was given to get us out of that spot. I'm sorry it happened. She was the catalyst in my whole life falling apart.
Are you sure about that? That's a heavy accusation. Roman, did she have any basis for this?
She just explained her reasoning.
I'm asking you, do you think there's an actual basis for this? Because I don't remember that arc very, very well because it was 2 years ago. But I just feel like this is a bit of a stretch.
I would agree with you there. Yeah.
It feels like a
It's
little bit of a stretch. I'm like, you can't just like blame all your problems on like one person or one event or one thing. You do have this thing called checks notes free will. You can react. You can't control what happens to you, but you can very well have some control over how you react. Not a lot. I mean, especially considering, it's Brockton Bay and everybody has CPTSD, but, I feel like CPTSD is a requirement for being a cape. Is it?
Probably.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
I would make a horrible cape, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can make a good one. Depends on your perspective.
I'd be like one of the travelers. Do whatever the fuck I want whenever I want.
Is that your perception of the travelers?
I don't know. It's what I would do if I were to travel.
Okay.
Just do whatever the fuck I want whenever the fuck I want.
He was the catalyst in my whole life falling apart.
That's so dramatic. I just can't get over how dramatic it is. Oh my god, dear diary, my life is ruined forever.
Tattletale was. Maybe. And you can be friends with her, and you still think of yourself as a good person?
Whoa! 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 This is some serious Twitter cancel culture shit. It is. It's some Twitter cancel culture shit. You know how it's like, oh, so and so, Lindsay Ellis said that one thing in that one tweet. Are you friends with Lindsay Ellis? You must be a terrible person. You can't be a good person and be friends with questionable people. Like, that's not how reality works. Like, oh my god, the world has to be like entirely black or like entirely white. If you're a good person, you have like no bad friends, you have like no bad qualities, you're canceled, girl. Like, seriously, that's how I'm reading all of this. How can you be a good person if you're friends with a bad person? People are complicated, sweetheart. Look, I've done some bad shit, and I'm friends with good people, and I'm friends with bad people. Guess what that makes me?
A person.
A person.
A
That's
person.
right, you get the prize. Ding, ding, ding. There is no prize. Life sucks and then you die. There is no prize. Girl. I do, man, you know what I really love about reading Worm? I feel better about being a bitter old hag. At least I'm not a fucking teenager. Dear Lord, I wasn't even like this when I was a teenager. I was a little robot. I was a very well-trained dog. I do not miss being a teenager, man. At least I have that. Every time I watch, like, anime or I look at my patients who don't have to, like, floss or don't have to take care of themselves and everything's just magically okay anyway, I think, God, I miss being young. I miss being able to, like, I don't know, bump my knee into something and not have my knee be wrecked for the next 2 years. I miss being able to heal and to sleep and all that. But then I come back to Worm, sorry, I'm sleepy. Then I come back to Worm and I remember, wow, being a teenager was a fucking shit show. So thank you, Wildbow, for reminding me. You know what? Youth ain't all it's cracked up to be. I don't mind being old. At least I have a little bit more peace, sense of mind than I used to when I was half my own age, half my current age. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
No, just listening to you. I'm just listening.
He's mocking me.
I'm not. It is nice to not be a hormonal teenager having to deal with superpowers.
Yeah. Man, dealing with superpowers was kind of like... It was weird. Did I tell you guys? People like... I'm not gonna say people thought I was magical, but people thought I was like weirdly sus. In terms of like... Did I tell them the story of when... Did I tell the story before? You know,
I don't think you've ever mentioned it.
The flag football witch thingy? Yeah, no, okay. Fun story. Should I tell the story?
Sure. You already teased it, so you might as well tell it.
Yeah, okay, fine. Story time. When I was in high school, something I liked to say back then, because I liked looking up, like, I guess, occult stuff, like any good Chuny Beowulf, but, like, I remember once I did a favor for a friend. Not really a favor, I just let her cut in line in front of me. I think that's what it was. And she was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like, "Yeah, don't mention it. I need the karma, right?" Because you guys know what karma is. And there's actually a friend, strong word, classmate in PE class. So she was like, "Karma, what's that?" So I just explained it the most basic way I could think of, which is just that idea that like if you do something good for someone, good things happen to you, and you do something bad for someone, bad things, what goes around comes around bit, right? She never heard of it, which is interesting. But yeah, so that was Tuesday or something. Wednesday, she comes back to me, "Panda, I did so many good things." She comes up to me, she's like, "When's it gonna happen?" I'm like, "When's what gonna happen?" She's just like, "I was doing good things for people all day yesterday. I went out of my way to be nice to people. And you know what? Nothing good's happened to me yet." And I was like, "Maybe you have to give these things time? It's not like there's like a time limit set on these things. It's not like a guaranteed like feedback thing." Telling this story now, it's really funny actually. Did I mention I don't miss being a teenager? Anyway, yeah, I was like, "Oh, well, maybe it's just a timing thing." Okay. And she's like, "Oh, okay. All right, fine." We go to PE class, and we're playing flag football. Friends, she is just as athletic as I am, which is to mean not at all. Not at all. And that day, she caught a football and scored a touchdown for the first time. And she comes running up to me afterward because I was on the other team. I was like, and of course, this is my classmate / friend. I'm like, "Yay, good job. I'm so happy for you." She's like, "Yeah, oh my God, I did it. Oh my God, nothing good like this has ever happened to me before." She stops mid-sentence. She looks at me, and I see her pupils widen in like, do pupils like shrink or widen in fear? I think it's widen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her eyes do that, like, just guys goes like, boop, eyes all big. She stops talking. She looks at me. She starts backing away. She didn't quite talk to me quite as much after that. Because she was like, you did it. You did something. And I was like, "I didn't do anything. I just told you what karma is." "Yeah, but then the good thing happened after I talked to you." And I was like, "What the?" So, I had all these little like superstitions, all these like little like mental tricks to keep myself, I guess, happy or sane, things like, if you make your own luck, right? This idea that if you believe something's going to be lucky, it will be lucky. So I would like wear like lucky ring socks and never get hit by a dodgeball. I would do like little things like this here and there. And I would just kind of tell people that. I just tell people stuff like this when I was in high school. And you know what? For some reason, everybody went along with it. Everybody believed it. And for some reason, people thought I was magical. So I don't know. Speaking as somebody who dealt with quote unquote teenage magical powers, I don't know. It's hard, but it's also fucking weird.
But also, I never used any of that as an excuse to just kind of freak out on people, even though I did also have PTSD, so...
Oh,
Fair. Come on, say it. It's fair.
it's fair.
Yeah.
You're not exactly like Amy.
Well, no, of course not. Of course not. I know my limits now, and I'd sooner, you know, bite the big one than do really bad shit.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to keep reading.
Yeah, keep reading. I hope you guys found that entertaining. You probably didn't. That was stupid. Okay, go on.
You still think of yourself as a good person?
She doesn't.
I don't know that I do think of myself that way.
Do you think of yourself as a good person, Amy? Are you projecting?
I've probably done more damage than good by trying to help others. Dina, the people in my territory, now Brian.
Hey, Brian's fine. It's okay.
But your intentions were good, then? You were trying to help? Yeah. Then tell me what to do. She didn't meet my eyes. I don't know anymore.
Wait. Amy's asking you what to do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the opportunities. I'm a bad person. See, I would just be like, oh my god, the pranks you could pull. But anyway.
I've spent so long helping others, and I'm so scared. I feel numb.
Burnout.
My
You
brain
need a
isn't
vacation.
working. Can't think straight. I just don't know anymore.
Burnout? Do what I did. Go to Mexico and drink a fuck ton of tequila. Come back a week later, you'll feel better.
She's underage.
Did I stutter?
I'm not making any promises. I won't fight, won't face the nine, don't want to talk to Tattletale, but... She trailed off, unable to finish her thought. I swallowed. I couldn't even manage with myself. And now she wanted me to guide her?
Oh my god, Taylor, the manipulation potential. I'm kind of excited for you. I'm like doing that thing with my fingers that bad guys do. You know, the whole like, what is it called? Tenting your fingers? What's this called?
Yeah.
What is this called?
Steepling? Tenting? I don't know.
You know, I'm just like doing that like ha 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 thing, like touching my fingertips. Touching the tips of my fingers to each other, you know, like Amy can't do because she's missing her distal phalanges. New vocabulary words, guys.
I swallowed. Oh, right. I already read that. Okay, I said. My mind was going a mile a minute. She was one of the most powerful parahumans native to Brockton Bay.
I know, the things you could do.
How was I supposed to use her?
Oh, I like the way you said, I like the way that was written. How was I supposed to use her? Like she's a tool. Like she's an object. Taylor, on the one hand, I'm going to be a good person. On the other hand, how am I supposed to use this most powerful of parahumans? Oh my god, the duality. Tay, you're not being honest with yourself, are you? On the one hand, you're like, you know, like it's like that poor unfortunate soul song. On the whole, I've been a saint. But she's also like, oh my god, I love this. I love this. This is so great.
One idea crossed my mind, and I hated myself for thinking it, for the stark fear I felt at the thought. Okay.
Fear?
Fear.
At being able to use Amy? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. I don't even know why I'm excited.
I won't ask you to face the nine, but can you give us the ability to go after them? To fight them? There's this part of the brain that Bonesaw called the Corona something. Corona potential? Can you access mine? Tweak my power, give me more range?
Coronavirus.
As much as you can.
Oh my god, really?
The mental image of Bonesaw cutting through my skull with her saw was so real, I could almost feel the sensation of it.
I'm still offended that she compared that to a dentist drill.
But we had to stop Siberian. I can't affect brains.
What?
You can't... I sighed. We all had
Are you sure? Wait, she's lying. Didn't she do something to Victoria's brain?
Yes, she did.
Liar. Oh my god, you little liar.
We all had our limitations and barriers. I was simultaneously relieved and disappointed. I didn't argue the point. Fuck. Okay, the dogs. Can you charge them up? Figure out how bitch's power is affecting them, and either make them big again, or keep them from getting any smaller? She glanced at Sirius. I'd gotten so used to them that I'd nearly forgotten just how horrifying they were to look at. I'd have to touch them. Yeah, they're not as bad as they look. They're regular dogs, it's only appearances and size.
So in other words, is their bark worse than their bite?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Why not?
You love me and you know it and you're stuck with me forever. Listen, honey, we have been married for 4 years now, 5 years almost, and we toughed out 2 years of total isolation during this pandemic together. Face it, sweetie, you're stuck with me. He's not leaving. And neither am I.
Regular dogs still bite people. Yeah.
I'm just reminded of that Jeopardy skit. Like, he got teeth, don't he?
I don't want to lose more fingers. I know, you don't have to.
That's okay. They don't like fingers. They'll eat your toes instead.
Let me think. We can come up with another way for you to contribute. Can you grow us wings? Trickster asked in a wry tone. I can't generate flesh from nothing, and it's slow to convert something into
Yeah,
a
honey, that's not a wry tone. Wry tone is what I always do. Can you grow us wings?
Can you grow us wings? Okay, I don't know what rye is, alright? I can't generate flesh from nothing, and it's slow to convert something into a part your body won't reject. Of course, Trickster said, with a note of sarcasm. Not helping, I thought. Amy was willing...
Wow, sarcasm. Like, I would have read that differently. Like, of course. Of course.
Amy was willing to do something. It was useful. We didn't need to discourage that. Before I could finish my thought, I saw Amy walk up to Sirius and offer him one hand to sniff. She flinched as he moved his head, pulling her arm away. I joined her side and put one hand on the side of Sirius' neck, digging my fingertips into a meaty cord of muscle. I scratched with enough force that I might have left tracks in normal skin. Hey boy, you're a good dog, aren't you? Yes, you are.
I'm just picturing this giant monster doggy. Hey, you're a good boy, right? Please don't bite me.
His bone-crusted tail lashed behind him in something approximating a wag. Amy put out her hand again, and Sirius sniffed it. Gingerly, she laid her hand on the length of his snout, running her fingers over calcified muscle, bone spurs, and braided lengths of muscle and other tissue.
God, I'm sorry. Just, you know, calcified muscle and bone spurs in my job, that's just like, ah!
The hell? She muttered. Can't wrap my head around this. You can't make him bigger? No, I don't think I can. Can't make something from nothing. But I think it can stall the shrinking. Whatever I do might get undone the second he's back in range of of bitch.
There you go, sweetie.
It's hard to describe. I can see the aftermath of what she does, but not the process. It's like the tissue grows, then it dies as it gets pushed out of the core, but some of it stays functional. There's a normal dog inside there? Intact? Yeah. Okay. Think I've got it. He's not going to shrink anytime soon. I signaled Tattletale to return. Thank you. She walked over to Bentley, giving Trickster a wary look as she walked by him. I joined her, in part to give Bentley the reassurance that this angry stranger wasn't so dangerous. There, Amy said. You're going to save your friends? And if we can, we're going to put down the 9. We figured out Siberian's weakness. Her eyes widened slightly at that. What? What did you think we meant when we were talking about her other self? Secret identity?
Oh my god.
I wasn't really paying attention. Tattletale climbed up onto Bentley's back, studiously ignoring Amy. Kind of a secret identity. She's a projection, I said. Like Crusader has with his duplicates. Best case scenario, we can find her real body and put her down. Just like that? You'll kill her? Ideal world, I said. Brew had climbed up onto Sirius' back, and he offered me a hand up. Won't know if we're capable until it happens, but I'd like to think we have the courage. But you're risking your lives. Yeah. I got settled and wrapped my arms around Brew's body. He didn't react or protest. My head just inches from his back. I turned to look down at Amy. See, it helps that we're pissed. I'm pissed too, Amy said. I offered my hand to her in case she wanted to climb up behind me and join us, but she stepped away.
She'll come around.
But you're more scared than pissed, I said. She looked away. We should get going, Trickster said. A Sundancer got in position behind him. We were all seated and ready to head to the rescue. 1 second, I told him. Amy, listen. It's okay. I've thought of another way you can help, and it doesn't put you in any danger. What is it? She still didn't meet my eyes. You're going to cut loose with your power. I can feed you the raw materials. You do what you can. You know how my power works? Pretty much. Send the bugs my way when you're done with them, then. You're a villain, you know. You're asking me to betray the family I grew up with if I'm helping you.
Well, sure, but Taylor's also, like, trying to take down, like, even bigger bad guys. Don't worry about it. Oh, if you think you're gonna betray your family now.
I stared at her. We were so similar in such different ways. But
Are
I
they?
couldn't...
Really? You think they're similar?
Honestly,
I don't really see it.
not really. I mean, in wanting to do good, sure. I think Taylor relates to Amy on some level.
Because I feel like they're very, very different.
They are very different, though.
I don't... They're not even, like, foils. They're just different. I have no idea where she's getting this. You guys are the same age, sure. But then you're kind of, you know, the whole, like, oh, I'm a little wallflower. Everybody's ignoring me. You guys have that hang up, but, you know.
We were so similar in such different ways, but I couldn't even begin to comprehend her train of thought. Why were the people who clung so fiercely to the notions of right and wrong the very same individuals that had the worst grasp of what they meant?
That sounded like real villain talk right there.
Maybe I wasn't one to talk. I don't think you're one to talk about betraying family, Tattletale spoke. I could see all the color drain out of Amy's face. Hey, Tattle, I started. No, sorry, Skitter, but it's my turn to talk now. We're short on time, and we really should leave now, but if we leave it like this, you're going to be distracted. I shut my mouth. Amy, I know what you did. Don't you dare, Amy started.
I know what you did! Are you referring to what you did to Victoria? Don't just blink at me like that, all cute!
Look, you're the listener, I'm the reader, I know what happens.
Give me spoilers! I can take it!
You can take it?
Yes. What is
The
she talking
answer-
about?
The answer is maybe.
I'm gonna throw something at you!
Okay, go for it. Oh, that's been recorded. He threw something at me.
It was
Live.
a stuffed panda. I'm sorry, boo-boo. I'm sorry.
You fucked up. You crossed one of the lines that's reserved for the real monsters. You know it, I know it. Amy's face crumpled.
Oh my god! Tattletale! Okay, I can see why she, like, hates Tattletale so much. Tattletale's got it out for her. What is going on?
I didn't have a better way of describing it, the way her expression twisted. Going from plain
Crumbling like pastries.
to almost inhuman from emotion alone. I almost spoke up. I wasn't sure why I didn't.
Oh, what is going on?
You think you're the lowest of the low, that you're scum. You despise yourself.
You should be no longer human! Sorry.
Amy couldn't even mount a response. You're wrong. You're not there. Not yet.
Oh!
Amy looked up at Tattletale, wide-eyed. The look was utterly defenseless. I was put in mind, for just an instant, of just who Tattletale could have been. I had a mental image of her as a cult leader, tearing people down with an almost surgical precision, then molding them into who she wanted them to
Is there a
be.
fanfic of this? I want to read it.
Molding them into who she wanted them to be when they were emotionally and mentally unable to mount a defense.
I want to read this fanfic so bad.
Not yet? Amy asked. Not yet.
Not yet, she said, but you could be. You're about to be. Oh man, I'm excited.
You shouldn't hate yourself for what you did in a moment of desperation. Hate yourself for what you do after. Hate yourself for your cowardice, your refusal to step up and help at this moment, right now. Your refusal to participate in this world that you never even tried to understand. That's a conscious call you're making, and you know it's the wrong one.
Ooh, this is why she's my favorite.
Amy hugged her arms to her chest. She shook her head a little, as if she was denying what Tattletale was saying. Tattletale went on. You need to make the right calls, and you need to start now, because you're approaching the point of no return.
Oh my god, I love this.
You start making amends, you start doing your part, and you undo what you did, and you do it ASAP, because if you don't, you're going to hit the hard ground at the bottom of that slippery slope.
Oh my god, I love these lines.
But
Ooh, drop the mic, girl.
Tattletale didn't give Amy a chance to finish. She kicked her heels, and Bentley charged off. Gru moved to follow, and I turned to Amy. If I send my bugs to you, will you? I'll come. I blinked. She stuck her hand in my direction, and I caught it, helping her up to a seat behind me. Sirius shook slightly, as if he could shake us off. Were we too heavy?
Well, that talk was certainly heavy, now wasn't it? The atmosphere's heavy.
Apparently not. He bolted after Bentley, and we were off, Amy clinging to me like her life depended on it. I suspected that had little to do with the fact that we were riding on one of Bitch's dogs. The clawed feet of the dogs pounded pavement as we made our way towards central downtown. I could feel the sensation of Amy doing something to interfere with my powers. It began to get worse, reaching a peak, and then getting worse. Just when it had reached the point where I was going to tear her hands from around me and let her fall off Sirius' back, it began to clear up. I could feel the bugs, but they weren't anything like what I'd seen in Brockton Bay. Superficially, like dragonflies with fatter bodies. I couldn't grasp.
Ugh. I'm sorry, I don't like them.
I couldn't grasp every process in their body, making them feel strangely hollow and artificial. What I could feel was a kind of echo in my power. It made control harder. She had to have a reason for doing what she was doing. I tried directing them to move, and they took off. No problem on that front. I couldn't ask what she'd done, because we were moving fast enough that the wind in our ears would drown out my voice, and the run was jarring enough that I worried I would bite my tongue if I tried talking.
Like half my patience today. Just kidding.
Instead, I experimented. I tried operating their bodies, engaged in the usual practices for injecting venom. Nothing. They weren't weaponized, I was almost sure. I even placed some aphids on them to get a feel for their exteriors. It was only when I moved them out to either side of me that it dawned on me what the echo was. Experimenting, I sent them to the limits of my range to confirm my suspicions. Whatever signal my power sent to my bugs, these bugs were there to intercept it and transmit it to their immediate area. Each extended my range by 300 or so feet around them.
Do. Upgrade.
Letting go of Gru with one hand, I patted Amy's hand and then reached back to give her a thumbs up. I set more dragonflies and other various bugs down on the backs of her hand.
Ah.
In another minute, I had 4 more relay bugs. I paired them up and sent them forward so one relay could transmit to the next. 2 extra city blocks of range. I started gathering a swarm with the bugs in question.
I hate this.
Amy had balked at the idea of outfitting me with altered bugs. Had she maybe settled on these because she thought they wouldn't give me as much offensive potential? I had them in place for less than 10 seconds before I found a moving vehicle. It was a truck with plastic sheeting over the windows, four-wheeled with a compact rear. A small moving truck? It was moving faster than was safe, veering wildly as it to get through the water and over the damaged streets, and it was heading straight for central downtown. Straight for the others. Found him! I hollered at the top of my lungs. Tattletale looked over at me, and I signaled, extending my arm to the 10 o'clock position. I felt strangely calm as I shifted my focus to the attack. If it came down to it, I'd have to kill the man.
Kill who?
The man.
The man?
Who are they going after right now? Come on, critical thinking. Recall, memory. She found someone in a moving truck.
Oh, right. Sorry.
There you
I
go.
like spaced out for like 2 seconds.
Well, that's the halfway point of the chapter.
Okay,
so it's
that's
a good place
that's
to
a good
stop.
stopping point. So she's gonna kill the otaku man.
Otaku man.
Look, he's a giant, smelly, unwashed nerd. I'm calling it. He's like 6 feet tall and emaciated and just really kind of a sad sack. Look, I'm sorry. I just feel like you'd have to be some kind of a sad sack if your virtual avatar is like this naked, finger-eating woman with zebra hair. It's just so specific. He's a sad sack and a pervert.
All right. Well, we're going to find out what happens to him
He dies.
next time. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.